Good morning to the Commonwealth. This is Young Honey with Raw Dog Radio, bringing you the greatest old-time radio station since the bombs fell. If you're just tuning in, welcome. We're going to be hitting you with an arrangement of ragtime, unabridged stories, and other old-world medias just for you to fall asleep to or relax to. I'd like to send a specific thank you to publicdomainreview.org and archive.org for organizing and compiling all of this media. If you would like to listen to the standalone media, we have included a link in the description. Our last series followed the Frontier Man, but we're going to switch gears to the adventures of the Falcon. Hailing from the 1940s, the hard-boiled spy drama is now around 80 years old. If you can provide proof of your existence when it released as a syndicated radio series, I will personally come visit and cook you a continental breakfast. Without further ado, let's get to listening.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Yvette. No, I won't be able to make it tonight. I'm on my way to London. That's right, Angel, London. Someone committed murder there, and I'm supposed to upset the defense. Yeah, he claims he knows nothing about it, because at the time he was in a fog.
Once again, the National Broadcasting Company brings you the transcribed adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. The Adventures of the Falcon, dedicated to private investigators everywhere. Those hard-hitting detectives who, like Mike Waring, risk their lives to aid law enforcement agencies. So join him now when the Falcon solves the case of the Babbling Brooks.
It's a funny thing about women. You never know how they're going to react. I suppose that's true of men, too, but I haven't been interested in doing research there. Give me a girl every time, especially in a city like London. Now, you take Christina Draper, for example. And if you're going to take her, you'll have to work real fast. Chris is the luscious blonde getting out of the lift on the 8th floor of the showroom. One glance and you can tell immediately this is a girl who believes in standing on her own 2 feet. And who can blame her? Just look at those ankles.
Who is it?
It's Chris, Robert. Open up.
Darling, what a pleasant surprise. I was just thinking of you.
I'll bet.
Word of honor, my darling. Have you got it for me?
You don't believe in wasting time, do you, Mr. Vaughn?
Eh?
I remember when you couldn't wait to kiss me.
Oh, I still can't. I'm mad about you, darling.
You're pretty cute.
I don't understand you, Chris.
Not much you don't. You'd cut my throat in a minute if you thought it would do you any good.
Oh, now, dearest.
Don't worry. Doesn't bother me. It's funny, isn't it? Down at the embassy, they think I'm the original hard-hearted Hannah. If they only knew, huh?
Well, they mustn't, my love. It would be disastrous for our cause if they did. Incidentally, I just heard from Moscow. They're tremendously pleased with
Skip it.
Well, I thought you'd be interested in knowing your efforts on behalf of world peace are appreciated.
Let's not kid each other. I'm a traitor.
Oh, Chris, please.
Well, isn't that what they call people who sell out their own country?
Darling, you mustn't talk like that. After all, your motive...
Yeah, how about my motive? I'm in love with a Comintern big shot. Do you think they'll take that into consideration before they hang me?
Oh, really, Chris, I don't know what's come over you. You're displaying horrible taste.
I apologize.
Mm-hmm. You're an angel. Now, what have you got for me?
The minutes of a conference between Colonel Logan and Sir Ralph Gordon.
May I?
You mind if I help myself to a drink?
I've got some Irish there.
That's fine. Can I fix you one?
Yes, please. Chris. Chris is wonderful. I see they discussed a new tank.
Yeah, the F7.
Where are they testing it?
Back in the States. Aberdeen. Here you are.
Thank you, Pet. Would there be any plans in England?
Colonel Logan has a set.
Mm-hmm. I've got to have a copy. I'll get you a camera.
Include me out.
Now, darling, don't you want to help the cause of world peace?
And I do that by presenting you with the plans for the F7?
Of course.
Well, I must be stupid. I don't see it.
Well, if we had known in advance that the Americans were going to use germ warfare in Korea...
Now, honey, this is Chris, remember? You're not writing articles for the Daily Worker.
My mistake. But you will get me a copy of those plans.
I don't think I'd better. The heat is on. Scotland Yard just nabbed a coding clerk in the British Foreign Office.
Oh, he was a bungler.
What about Fuchs?
And you claim you love me, hmm?
If you don't know it by now.
Oh, well, then you can't refuse me this.
Oh, now, stop it,
Oh,
Robert.
you know I'm mad about you, Chris.
No.
After this is over, I'll take you out of this beastly country. We'll go to Vienna, Moscow, anywhere you want. What do you say, darling?
I ought to have my head examined.
But you'll do it, hmm?
I'll do it. Get me a camera and I'll take care of it tonight.
There'll always be an England.
Who's there?
Beg your pardon, miss. Only Alfie Brooks. I thought everyone was gone.
No, I'm working late, Brooks.
Yeah, so I noticed. Is Colonel Logan here?
No, he's away for the weekend.
Well, I thought I scrubbed these floors. Would you like me to start over? Hey, that's a smasher. Oh, that camera. My brother brought back one like that from Germany. Oh, it took lovely pictures.
Yes, I'm sure.
But ain't that against regulations?
Huh?
To bring a camera in here?
Well, I'm going down to Devonshire for the weekend. I didn't want to have to go home again to pick it up.
Ah, I see.
Oh, I hope you won't say anything to Colonel Logan about this.
Well, I don't know, Miss Draper.
Now, you wouldn't want to get me in trouble, would you, Brooks?
Of course not. I know what trouble is. I got my share. Why, it takes a blooming fortune to keep a body alive. You know, the pound ain't worth what it used to be.
Could you use 5?
Oh, I hope you don't think I was hinting for money.
Of course
Oh,
not.
not that I couldn't use it, you understand. Imagine, 2 shillings now for a pint of bitters.
Yeah, and this ought to buy you a barrel.
Oh, thank you, Miss Draper. You're a real lady.
And you won't say anything to Colonel Logan.
Ah, you don't have to worry, miss. Ask anyone. When Alfie Brooks gives his word, it's like a bond. I've forgotten about it already.
Anyone for Dot? I say, anyone for Dot?
Hey, looking for someone, Governor?
Yeah, Alfie Brooks. I was told I could find him at the Fox and Beagle.
What's Brooks done now?
What makes you think he's done anything?
Oh, I know Alfie. Hey, Alfie. Gent here wants to see you.
What, gent?
Hello, Brooks. My name is Mike Waring. I wonder if you could spare me a few minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Governor. I'm playing darts.
Well, this won't take much time. Oh, hey, bartender. Could we have a couple of pints here? Thank you.
You want to sit at this table here?
All right. Now,
You've got your blooming nerve.
here, take a look at my credentials.
Well, you ain't a blooming copper.
No, not exactly. But Colonel Logan suggested I talk to you.
Oh, I ain't nothing. If somebody's pinched something, well, it wasn't me.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. I was just wondering if you ever saw anyone in the Colonel's office after hours.
Oh, like who, for example?
Like any of the men, or Miss Draper, the Colonel's secretary.
You mean there's spies at work?
What makes you ask that?
I go to the cinema. I seen how those fellows work. If I thought there was some hanky-panky going on...
There is.
Cool. What do you know?
The question is, what do you know?
Not a ruddy thing. But I'll give it some thought, Governor. If I come up with anything, you leave it to Alfie Brooks to know what to do.
What's the trouble, Chris? You look nervous.
I am.
Maybe this will calm your fevered brow.
I tell you, they suspect something, Robert. I'm being followed.
You're imagining things, darling.
Then why did they send for Waring?
Michael Waring?
You know him?
I met him in Vienna 2 weeks ago and in Paris last week.
Who is he?
By avocation, he's a private detective called the Falcon. But according to my information, he's been recalled to temporary duty with American intelligence.
I knew it.
Now, Chris, I tell you...
Are you expecting someone?
No. Who is it?
Porter, Mr. Vaughan.
Where'll I go?
Oh, really, darling, you do have the window.
I'll be in there.
As you like. Just a moment.
Hi, Governor.
Who the devil are you?
Oh, Alfie Brooks is the name. Is Miss Draper here?
I'm afraid you're making a mistake.
Not half. I followed her.
So you're the one.
Uh-huh. Can I come in?
Perhaps you'd better. Sit down.
Thanks. Cool. Oh, this is a lovely place. What do they hit you for a flat like this?
Why, you think you're renting one?
You never know. Someday I might be in the chips myself.
And if you are, it'll be through me, eh?
Now that's what I like. A gentleman who comes right to the point.
What's on your mind?
Well, a bloke named Mike Waring was around to see me the other day. Yeah, wanted to know if...
I can imagine what he wanted to know.
I didn't tell him about Miss Draper. You see, I gave her my word.
And naturally, you wouldn't break it.
Naturally. Unless, of course, there was conditions I got no control over. Like, if there was hanky-panky going on.
What do you mean by hanky-panky?
Suppose, for the sake of argument, Miss Draper was a spy. Oh, not that I think she is, you understand.
I understand.
Oh, well, naturally, it would be my duty to tell what I know. I'm a patriot, I am.
That's obvious.
Of course, I'd hate to make trouble for Miss Draper, and there's no reason why I should.
If you're paid.
Like I said before, Mr. Vaughan, I like a gent who don't beat around the bush.
How much do you want?
Suppose we say £500.
How do I know this won't be the first of many such calls?
Now, I'm no pig, Mr. Vaughan. Ask anyone what knows Alfie Brooks. They'll tell you he's a reasonable man.
Well, that raises a problem. I don't have that much on me.
That's all right. I trust you.
You might be making a mistake.
No, I don't think so. You see, I can always go back to Mr. Waring. Yeah, he's my insurance policy.
A sort of Lloyd's of London, eh?
Uh-huh.
Where do you live?
13 Oakley Square, that's in Camden Town.
I'll be by at 3:30.
In the morning?
Yes, I have a previous engagement.
You won't fail me.
Oh, don't worry, Brooks. Like you, my word is my bond.
That's all I ask. Well, cheero, mate. Give my best to Miss Draper.
I will.
Well, was I imagining things?
Apparently not.
What are we going to do?
Well, first I'm going to have a drink and meditate, my darling. Obviously, I can't permit myself to be blackmailed, so there's only one solution.
No.
I'm afraid it's yes, darling. Why do you think I told Brooks I'd be there at 3:30?
I have no idea.
Well, that's the time I expect to be with your employer.
Colonel Logan?
Yes. Ironic, isn't it, that the American military attaché should be my alibi?
But if you're going to be with the Colonel...
I can't take care of our Mr. Brooks.
Then who will?
You.
You're crazy.
What's the trouble, darling? Something wrong with my logic?
Everything. You don't think I'm going to commit murder?
Oh, really, Chris, at times you show your bourgeois background.
I've done a lot for you, Robert. But I won't kill anyone.
Why not? Indirectly, my dear, you've been responsible for thousands of deaths.
That's a lie.
Did you ever think of the end results of all the work you've done for us? Those bits of paper you brought us ultimately meant the death of some American boy.
No.
Now, darling, you've got to face the facts. You're a big girl now. Here we are.
What's that?
A memento I've been keeping for just such an occasion. It's a cufflink. You'll notice the initials.
M.W.
M.W. Didn't you say Mike Waring was in London?
Yes.
Well, after you take care of Mr. Brooks, you're to drop this near the body.
I won't do it.
And I say you will. Finish your drink, pet. I'd hate to be late for my appointment with Colonel Logan. So much depends on it.
Are you in a hurry? Are you in enough of a hurry to risk your life? Statistics show that by far the largest percentage of all fatal highway accidents are caused by drivers who go over the speed limit. Speeding on the highway gets you nowhere except into trouble. The faster you drive, the less control you have over your car. The longer it takes you to stop, the greater strain you put on your tires, and the more likely you are to skid if the roads are bad. Weigh all these facts against the few minutes you may save by driving too fast, and then slow down. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon.
Well, I say what you don't know will never hurt you. But try selling that to Alfie Brooks. He had no idea the little surprise party Robert Vaughan and Chris Draper were preparing for him. Meanwhile, I had a dinner date with Chris's boss, Colonel Logan, at the Savoy. I don't know if the fuel shortage had anything to do with it, but we ate by candlelight, so that made two more of us in the dark.
Some more wine, Mike?
Is that what it is? I couldn't tell in this light.
I'm surprised at you, Mike. Don't you know there's nothing more romantic than eating by candlelight?
Well, how can you expect me to be romantic with a colonel in the Army? Now, if you were that blonde secretary of yours...
Chris? Forget it. She's spoken for.
Well, just the same, I think I'll have to talk with her tomorrow.
What for?
Well, I've covered everybody else on your staff. It's time I got around to her.
Wasting your time, soldier. You might as well suspect me.
Don't think I haven't.
That's what I like about you boys in intelligence. You wouldn't even trust your...
What's the trouble, Colonel?
I don't know.
Here, I'll get you a doctor.
No.
But you're sick.
No, it'll pass. I feel better already.
Well, let me take you home.
No, it's nothing, Mike. Just a touch of indigestion.
But just the same, I'm going to see you home. I'll have the way to call a cab.
No, I've got a date.
Well, let me keep it for you. I guarantee she won't be disappointed.
No, but you will. It's a he.
Oh?
Yeah, although you and Vaughn might hit it off at that.
What Vaughn might that be?
Robert.
Is he in England?
Don't tell me you know him.
I certainly do. I met him in Vienna 2 weeks ago. He's working for the Reds.
He's what?
Sure, he's a big shot in the party. I'll bet he's behind all these shenanigans.
Mike, you've been seeing too many movies.
Look, I tell you, Colonel...
Tell me tomorrow. Vaughn and I've got a date to play chess. And if I'm going to keep it, I'll have to move. I'll be seeing you, fellow.
All right, Colonel. Your move.
You're going to regret this, Vaughn. Suppose I move my bishop here. I believe that's checkmate.
Now, how the devil did I miss that? You're much too good, Colonel. I resign. How about another game?
No, I promised my doctor I'd be in bed by 1.
Oh, but it can't be more than 12.
If it isn't, someone better notify Big Ben. That's 3, striking now.
I can imagine where the time went. Would you like me to drive you home?
No, don't bother. I'll get a cab.
Oh, ridiculous. In my Nash here, it'll take us no time at all.
Really, Vaughn, I hate to put you in any trouble.
Oh, forget it. Just let me get my coat.
Well, I certainly appreciate that.
My pleasure. I'll be right out. Operator, let me have Savoy 4112, please.
Hello?
That you, Chris?
Yes.
Robert here. Just wanted to know everything is proceeding according to plan, my dear. I'm leaving now with Colonel Logan. You have that cufflink I gave you?
Yes, but...
Good. I should be at the Colonel's flat at 3:30, at which time you should be knocking on Mr. Brooks' door.
Listen, darling.
I wish I had time to, but it might throw our schedule off. Good hunting, darling.
Half a mo, I'll be right there.
Hello, Brooks.
What? Miss Draper? I was expecting Mr. Vaughn.
He couldn't make it, so he sent me in his place.
I don't like that, miss. It seems to me when you make an agreement...
It couldn't be helped, Brooks. Now, may I come in?
All right. You got it?
Yes, I've got it. Where's your wife?
I sent her to her ma's. I knew Mr. Vaughn wouldn't want anyone around while we was conducting business.
That was smart.
You leave it to Brooks, miss. I'm a bloke who...
You're a bloke who what?
What's the idea of the gun?
What's usually the idea?
He mustn't joke with me.
I'm not joking, Brooks.
Look, we can forget about the money.
Can we?
Sure. Well, what do I want with £500? I wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. You tell Mr. Vaughn for me.
Primrose, will you phone the yard and ask them to send over the lorry? I'll get it. Yes?
I'd like to see Alfie Brooks, please.
I think we can oblige you. Come in.
Thanks.
There he is.
Oh.
You care for a closer look?
Yes, if you don't mind.
I insist.
Well, it's not very pretty.
What murder is? I don't believe I caught your name.
It's Mike Waring.
Oh, how are you? I'm Heathcliff.
Heathcliff?
Now, if you're going to make any bad jokes about Wuthering Heights, I'd rather you didn't. You chaps carry on, will you?
I do.
I take it you're with the yard.
You take it correctly.
Well, I'm with American Intelligence. If you'd like to see my credentials...
I'd love to.
There you are.
Mm-hmm. Seems to be in order.
If I can help in any way...
Perhaps you can. Now, what do you make of this cufflink?
Well, let's see it.
Oh, I'd rather you didn't, old man. But the initials on it are M.W.
Well, it could stand for Mike Waring.
Couldn't it? Which merely proves how wrong I've been.
I don't get you.
Well, every time I read one of your American thrillers, I'm amused when the criminal's apprehended because he conveniently leaves behind a cufflink. But apparently truth is stranger than fiction.
This is Vaughn's work.
I beg your pardon?
2 weeks ago in Vienna, I ran into a man named Robert Vaughn. He was in charge of Soviet security. He had an opportunity to go through my things.
And it's your theory that he appropriated this cufflink at that time?
Yes.
Now, why should he do that?
For just this purpose.
Well, I'd say he was remarkably far-sighted, wouldn't you?
Look, Inspector, this isn't for publication. But there was a spy at work on Colonel Logan's staff.
The deceased there?
Apparently.
Oh, it hardly seems likely, old man. After all, Brooks was just a porter. He'd be in no position to know anything.
Well, he must have known something. That's why Vaughn killed him.
Still, it was your cufflink we found near the body.
But can't you see it's a frame?
I knew you were going to say that.
What?
Those American pictures aren't exaggerated.
Oh, don't be a fool. If I killed Brooks, why would I come back here?
Doesn't the killer always return to the scene of the crime? In your case, probably to retrieve the cufflink.
Oh, what's the use? When did he die?
3:30. What were you doing at that time?
I was asleep.
I'm afraid that isn't much of an alibi, old man.
Well, I'll give you 8 to 5 that Vaughn's isn't any better.
Those are excellent odds. I think I'll take you up on them. Primrose, be a good chap and get us a car, will you? We've got to settle a bet.
Well, that's a very interesting tale, Inspector. So Mr. Waring believes I framed him, eh?
I know you did, Vaughn. You're the only one who could have palmed that cufflink.
And where did I have the opportunity?
2 weeks ago in Vienna at the Hotel Imperial.
Oh, really, old man? You're not serious? Why should I kill this
Brooks.
Yes.
Alfie Brooks.
Thank you, Inspector.
Why don't you say you didn't even know the man?
I didn't.
Oh, come off it, Vaughn. He was working for you.
Then why should I kill him?
All right, maybe he wasn't.
I do wish you'd make up your mind. Was he or wasn't he?
Look, Inspector, suppose there was someone else in that office cooperating with Vaughn and Brooks discovered it. Then suppose he tried to blackmail Vaughn.
You're doing an awful lot of supposing.
Then why won't you tell us what you were doing at 3:30 last night?
Because I hate to involve anyone.
You're bluffing.
I wouldn't advise you to call me.
Well, I am. The inspector and I have a side bet on your hand.
Well, I've got a full house, old man. At 3:30 last night, I was with Colonel Logan, the American attaché.
You're lying. I saw the colonel...
At 8. He told me so.
But he never would have stayed up till 3:30. He wasn't feeling well.
I know. I drove him to his flat. We got there at 4:15.
Well, I don't get it.
You will. Seems to me, Inspector, you mentioned something about a wager between yourself and Mr. Waring.
Yes, he staked his life on the outcome of this call. I do hope he can afford the loss.
There's a price tag on almost everything. Whether you drive a shiny new 1952 model or a pre-war jalopy, you had to pay the price. And when you're driving that car, remember that speed also has its price. The price tag on speed violations last year was 15,000 killed and 500,000 injured. This year, thousands of lives can be saved if you and millions of other motorists come to the sober realization that speed is the biggest killer on the highways and resolve to slow down before you or someone else pays the price that must be paid for it. You can do your part by keeping within speed limits. At all times, drive as though your life depends on it. It does. Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon.
Well, I can't say I wasn't warned. Mama always told me not to gamble, and here I had staked my life that Robert Vaughn didn't have an alibi for the time of Brooks's murder. But there was one consolation. My luck had to change. I couldn't possibly lose 2 bets in a row like this.
Well, what do you say, Waring? You satisfied now?
No, he's lying, Inspector.
Oh, really, old man?
You couldn't possibly have been with Colonel Logan at 3:30.
And suppose the Colonel bears out my story.
Well, then, there was some horsing around with watches.
Horsing around? That's a new one. You mean jiggery-pokery?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. The Colonel wasn't wearing a watch, and Vaughn here probably doctored his own.
Did I doctor Big Ben, too?
Huh?
The Colonel called the hour to my attention as Big Ben was striking 3.
Oh, no.
You really seem to be putting your foot in it, Mr. Waring.
Well, I tell you, his alibi is a phony.
Well, In England, we know a wonderful way to find out. Suppose we go over and see Colonel Logan. I suppose that's how you do it in America, too.
Come in. Yes?
I hate to disturb you, miss, but I'm Inspector Heathcliff of Scotland Yard.
Yes, we've been expecting you.
Well, why should you?
Oh, this is Mr. Waring and Mr. Vaughan.
I've already had the pleasure. How are you, Miss Draper?
Colonel Logan in there?
Yes. Go on in.
Oh, come in, gentlemen.
Say, what's going on?
Sad, isn't it? I cautioned him. He just wouldn't listen.
Who are you?
Dr. Welbin.
What's wrong with the Colonel?
Oh, can't you see? He's dead.
That's impossible.
Oh, no. Typical coronary. They often go like that, you know. Late hours, overwork.
Poor guy.
Well, I can assure you there was no pain. He never knew a thing.
Well, kind of upsetting, isn't it, Vaughan?
Hey?
You claim the Colonel was your alibi.
He was.
How are you going to prove it?
That does create a problem.
If you gentlemen will excuse me, I'll make the necessary arrangements.
All right, Vaughan. What have you got to say for yourself now?
Well, gentlemen, I'm afraid you leave me no choice. I didn't kill Brooks, but I know who did.
Why didn't you say so before?
Well, after all, I am a gentleman, and where a lady is involved...
A lady?
Christina Draper.
The Colonel's secretary?
Yes, that's right. I've been seeing a good deal of the girl.
Why should that make any difference?
You might let me finish. I understand she's engaged to some chap in the States. Brooks apparently found out about it and attempted to blackmail her.
I don't believe it.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Chris, darling.
I guess it's true what they say about people who listen at keyholes. They never hear any good about themselves.
I'm sorry, my pet, but you do understand.
I'm not angry, Robert. I always knew you'd cut my throat someday. But you taught me a lot, too. Like you said, my reaction to murder was distinctly middle class. Well, I'm over that now.
Listen, Miss Draper.
Stay out of this.
Put away that gun.
This doesn't concern you. This is between Mr. Vaughan and myself. Right, Robert?
You're being very melodramatic, Chris.
What can you expect of a woman in love? You know, I do still love you.
Oh, really, darling?
I guess I will as long as we both live, which isn't saying very much. I'll be seeing you, honey.
No.
All right, Angel. Let's have that gun.
Sure.
How is he, Inspector?
He isn't. He's dead.
And that takes care of that. All right, fellas, let's go.
Kind of ironic, wasn't it, Waring?
Huh?
I mean, Vaughan's alibi turning on Colonel Logan and the Colonel dying of a heart attack before he could testify.
Yeah, it just proves you can't depend on anything these days. Too bad, too, because it was really a nice twist. While Vaughan was with the Colonel, Chris killed Brooks.
Pretty clever.
Yeah, you got to give the devil his due. He had it all planned but the ending.
Well, now that it's ended, I suppose you'll be going back to the States.
And am I looking forward to seeing them again?
When are you leaving?
First plane out.
I do wish you'd change your mind. I'd like to show you around the yard.
No, thanks. I made up my mind. And once I do,
Excuse me, sir. But is either of you gentlemen Mr. Michael Waring?
Yeah.
Here's a cable for you, sir. It's been forwarded from your hotel.
Oh, thanks. Oh, no.
Bad news?
Listen. Glad you're enjoying your holiday. No use coming back to New York now. It's hot as blazes. People keeling over in the streets. Understand they're doing the same in Italy, only they never get up again. Proceed immediately to Rome and find out why. Love and kisses, Leon Brill.
You're not going to take that.
Now, what do you think? If I ignore this, Brill can have me court-martialed and shot.
And if you go to Rome, you might end up the same way?
Yes, ain't that a jolly prospect? Good night, Inspector.
The Case of the Running Waters. The Case of the Running Waters. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon. When Mike Waring discovers that when in Rome, it's not always advisable to do as the Romans. Sometimes it can be murder. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake. Produced and transcribed by Bernard L. Schubert, written by Eugene Wang, and directed by Richard Lewis. Les Damon was starred as the Falcon with Ann Burr as Chris. This program came to you from New York City. This is Fred Collins speaking.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Kathy. I'm glad you called. No, I'll have to have a rain check, Angel. I'm leaving tonight for Italy. Yeah, I just heard when it comes to murder, there's no place like Rome.
Once again, the National Broadcasting Company brings you the transcribed Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. The Adventures of the Falcon, dedicated to private investigators everywhere. Those hard-hitting detectives who, like Mike Waring, risk their lives to aid law enforcement agencies. So join him now when the Falcon solves the case of the running waters.
If you ever wondered why Rome wasn't built in a day, maybe I can explain. They didn't use American labor. Take a craftsman like Steve Waters. Mr. Waters is the rugged-looking citizen sauntering down the 8th-floor corridor of the Hotel Nationale. He just arrived in Rome an hour ago without baggage and without friends, and already he's got a gun and a girl. Now, that's what I call a fast worker.
Yes,
You Marie Antonescu?
that is right.
Well, I must say this is a pleasure. I'm Steve Waters.
I beg your pardon.
You never heard of me?
No?
Well, that's funny. I'm an old friend of your family. Matter of fact, I just saw your father yesterday.
You saw my father.
Yeah, and he sends his love.
Oh, but that is impossible. My father is in Bucharest. I do not understand. Romania is behind the Iron Curtain.
Yeah, yet apparently I can get in or out any time I want. I guess I must be a magician, huh?
You are a Comintern agent.
Well, that's a possibility.
What have you done to my father?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He looks real fine. You'd think prison agreed with him.
He is in prison.
Oh, didn't you know? I'm sorry. But you don't have to worry. He won't be there long. Either way. Cigarette?
No.
You sure?
I want nothing from you.
Not even your father's life?
What do you want, Mr. Waters?
All right, I'll make it short and sweet. You're kind of friendly with a boy named Kirby Patterson.
How did you learn that?
Well, I probably know more about Kirby than you do. For instance, did you know he's with American intelligence?
No.
Yeah, he's a spy, just like I am, only he's working the other side of the street. And his current assignment is to meet a man in Rome named Mike Waring. Only, he's not going to make it.
He isn't?
No, you're going to see to that.
Get out.
Okay. Oh, anything you want me to tell your father?
Wait.
What?
What is it you wish?
When do you expect to see Kirby again?
Tonight at 7.
Uh-huh. Well, now, suppose the two of you have a drink up here before you go out. Only, when you pour Kirby's, add the contents of this bottle.
You expect me to poison him?
Oh, now, let's not jump to conclusions. Now, this won't kill him. It'll only put him out long enough for me to keep his appointment
You
with
mean
Mike Waring.
You are going to pretend to be Kirby?
Uh-huh.
I will not do it.
Look, Marie, let's not argue. We both know you will. Just take care of that bottle.
Where are you going?
Isn't this your bedroom?
Oh, you cannot sleep in there.
Oh, I don't intend to. Now, you see, I figure you and Kirby need a chaperone, what with this drinking and such. So, I'll just keep an eye open to see that you don't get into trouble.
Marie, I don't like the way you look. You sure you feel all right?
I feel fine, Kirby. What makes you say such a thing?
Well, your hands are like ice. I'm going to get your coat. Where is it, in the bedroom?
Don't go in there.
What's the matter?
I hate to be treated like an infant, that's all. Someone would think I was helpless.
Yes, but you've got a chill.
I tell you I'm all right. I just need a drink.
All right. Where do you keep the...
Never mind. I'll fix it myself.
You're not going to let me do anything tonight.
What will you have?
Scotch on the rocks.
Kirby, you know I love you.
Well, I certainly hope you do.
I would die if anything happened to you.
Now, what brought that on?
I just hope you understand. Sometimes we cannot help ourselves.
Okay, Marie, let's have it. What are you trying to tell me?
Nothing, darling. Here's your drink.
Thanks.
Well, salute.
Salute. Hey, where'd you get this stuff?
Is something wrong?
It's got a peculiar taste.
Oh, it's your imagination.
How do you know? You haven't even tasted yours.
Oh, no, it is fine.
I still say it's got an off taste. Here, you try
Oh,
mine.
you're trying to be ridiculous. They were both poured from the same bottle.
What are you getting so steamed up about? All I said was... Marie,
What is it?
I don't know. I can't catch my breath.
Maybe if you sit down.
Get me some water.
Yes, darling.
Hurry, honey. I feel like I'm gonna...
Kirby!
You wake the baby.
What have you done to him, Walter?
What did I do? I'm just an innocent bystander.
He's dead.
No. He's gonna be fine. Now, why don't you just sit down and relax till Mike Waring's train pulls into Rome, huh? Oh, I sure hope it's on time. We'll have to give Kirby another treatment if it's late.
All right, pal, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, scusa, signora. I look for my friend. They tell me he's in this compartment.
Well, did you think he was hiding in my luggage?
No capisco.
In case you hadn't noticed, that's my bag you're handling.
Oh, I want to see if this is his suitcase.
What does that tag say?
Michael Waring.
Well, now that we've got me identified, who are you?
Roberto Stefani.
Roberto Stefani?
Si.
What were you doing with my grip?
Oh, you make a mistake.
No, you did. You should have closed the straps.
All right. I tell you the truth. I have to make sure you really are Michael Waring.
Why?
You work for American intelligence, no?
How did you find that out?
Did they not tell you in London a man would meet you on the Rome Express to give you your next assignment?
No.
Maybe they, how you say, double check. You are to go to the Hotel Nacional and meet Kirby Patterson there. Am I right?
Keep talking.
You are supposed to deliver some information to him which can be used by our friends in Romania.
How come you know so much?
I work for American intelligence, too.
That's pretty good.
You do not believe me?
Oh, what a question.
Senor Waring, please.
Now, stand still. Oh, so you pack a gun, huh?
Naturally. In our work.
Yeah, tell me more about your work, Roberto. I see your dues are paid up through August.
Huh?
Well, isn't this a membership card in the Italian Communist Party?
Oh. Well, I can explain this, senor.
Yes, I'll bet you can. Tell the comrades I enjoyed my entrance to Rome, only next time let me choose my own welcoming committee.
Now, let me get this straight, Waring. You mean this Roberto Stefani actually had the nerve to pose as one of our boys?
Yeah, he even knew I was supposed to meet a Kirby Patterson in Rome.
You sure gotta hand it to the bums. They don't miss a trick.
No. Lucky I'm suspicious by nature. They used to say I wouldn't trust my own mother, so naturally...
You want to see my credentials?
Uh-huh.
I was wondering when you'd get around to that. Here.
Kirby Patterson, 5'9", 172 pounds. Brown hair, brown eyes, birthmark on left temple. Well, you certainly fit the description.
I ought to. I wrote it myself. When are you leaving for the States?
Just as soon as I finish this assignment.
Well, there's no time like the present. Where's the dope?
Right here in this notebook.
Well, it's in code.
Well, what did you expect? How soon do you think you can get it to your contact in Romania?
Well, we'll have it by Thursday, maybe Wednesday. Expecting someone.
No, put the notebook away.
Right.
All right, come in.
Signor Waring,
That's right.
my card.
Giulio Farinacci, Hotel Nacional.
I'm going to run along, Mike.
Yeah, okay, Kirby. Lots of luck.
Yeah, same to you. Oh, lift one for me when you get back to Times Square. Huh?
I'll do that. Oh, what can I do for you, Giulio?
I am what you call the house detective here.
Oh, well, I'm glad to meet you.
The honor is all mine, Signor. It is a great pleasure to greet my opposite number from the great democracy across the Atlantic.
How's that again?
Well, are you not the private detective they call the Falcon?
Oh, only when they can't think of anything worse.
You are here on business?
No, I've retired, Giulio.
Oh, what a pity. I had hoped to be allowed to cooperate. No one knows the criminal mind like Giulio Farinacci. I trust you will forgive me for mentioning it, but as one in the profession, you will understand.
What?
The senor who was just here, you call him Kirby.
What about it?
It is an unusual American name.
No, not too. Why?
In the lobby yesterday, I heard a foreign lady call a gentleman Kirby. He did not look like your friend.
You sure?
Yes, he was a tall, blonde man.
Well, was Kirby his first or last name?
I would have no way of knowing.
Look, Giulio, this is very important. Now, if you run across this other Kirby again, let me know. I'd certainly like to meet him.
Senor Waters.
What's the matter with you, Roberto? Can't you see I'm busy?
But the Senor Patterson here. He is opening his eyes.
Oh, it's about time, too. Give him some water.
Here, Senor.
Huh?
Drink.
Hiya, Kirby.
Who are you?
Well, generally, I go under the name of Steve Waters.
Steve Waters?
Yeah, although lately I've been using yours.
I don't understand.
Oh, your headache?
Yeah. Where's Marie?
Marie?
Marie Antonescu. Isn't this her room?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I believe it is.
Where is she?
Well, one of my associates took her for a ride. I didn't think this was any place for a woman, especially if we wanted to have a little man talk. You recognize this?
No.
It's a notebook I got from Mike Waring.
Mike Waring?
Yeah, only it's in code. Would you happen to have the key?
Let's see now.
Mustn't touch.
I got a Mickey.
Hey, did you hear that, Roberto? He thinks he was drugged.
But who would do such a thing?
Well, I wonder.
Well, if I'm not the world's prized chump. Senor Waters.
All right, put down that phone, Kirby.
Operator.
Look, boy, don't make me do something you'll be sorry for.
Operator. Senor Waters.
Hang up the phone.
But he is dead.
Well, then he certainly won't want to use it. Hang up, Roberto. We got work to do.
You and your children can expect to live long thanks largely to better medicine and surgery. But you could expect to live even longer were it not for the danger of automobile accidents. If driver education could be taught in all of our high schools instead of only a third of them, it might someday help to save the life of your own son or daughter. If your schools don't have these courses, demand driver education for your children. And if your own automobile is not in the good repair it should be sure to have it fixed. Remember to drive as though your life depends on it. It does. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon.
Well, that's life for you. One minute you got it, and the next you haven't. Miss Kirby Patterson learned the hard way. But I had no idea what was going on. The first I knew of it was some 8 hours later. I just finished tangling with a mess of braciole at Angelo's on the Via Cavour when I looked up and saw a gentleman dressed in blue standing over me. If his uniform wasn't a giveaway, his feet were. They were flat. He was a cop, all right. His name was Emilio Balbo, and he was a captain in the Carabinieri. It seemed the Capitano had heard of me and wanted to show me the local sights. It was a deluxe 50-cent tour. He started with the morgue, and that was my finish.
You will be good enough to observe, Senor Waring.
I'm observing.
I would be most interested in your deductions.
Well, offhand, I'd say he was either English or American.
Uh-huh.
Probably American, judging by his clothes.
See.
And he must have been pretty handy with his fists.
On what do you base this?
The broken knuckles on the right hand. How come his clothes are so wet?
Perhaps you can guess.
You fished him out of the Tiber?
Exactly.
Well, he wasn't in there long. Maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Formidable. Would you care to venture a guess as to his identity?
No, I'm afraid not.
The desk clerk at the Hotel Nacional said he visited you this afternoon.
He's out of his mind.
Perhaps I can refresh your recollection. His name is Kirby Patterson.
What? That's impossible. Or is it? If he's Kirby Patterson, who's the other one?
What other one?
The boy who called on me yesterday, and I gave him the... Listen, Capitano, you're positive this is the right Kirby Patterson?
Absolutely. He was identified by a member of the American Embassy.
Poor devil.
You have no idea who killed him?
Yes, I've got a big idea.
Who?
The fellow who called himself Kirby Patterson.
What?
Yeah, if you're confused, think of me. But maybe I know the man who can clear up this mess.
Who?
The house stick at the Hotel Nacional. I'll let you know how I make out.
Some more Chianti, Signor Waring?
No, thanks, Giulio. Right now I have more pressing problems.
My ears are at your command.
Well, you told me you saw a woman with a man named Kirby in the lobby of the Nacional.
See, I did.
Are you sure about that?
The memory of Giulio Farinacci is not to be doubted, Signor. It has been said.
Yeah, okay. Who was the gal?
Let me think.
Oh, she might have been a guest of the hotel.
How do you arrive at that conclusion?
Well, you said she wasn't Italian. So it's a good bet if she met Kirby at the Nacional, she must have been living there, because he wasn't.
Beautifully reasoned.
Well, you know who she is?
It escapes me at the moment.
Okay, we'll start with the hotel register. That ought to give us a lead.
Wait. I believe I know the very woman. Yes. Suite 813, Marie Antonescu.
Marie Antonescu?
She's from Romania, I believe.
Thanks a lot, Giulio.
Perhaps I can assist.
No, you've done your share. From here on, it's up to me. Let's hope I do as well. Hello, Marie.
I beg your pardon.
Well, aren't you Marie Antonescu?
Yes?
Kirby Patterson sent me around.
Kirby sent you here.
In a manner of speaking.
Oh, please come in.
Thank you.
Sit down.
Thanks.
I imagine Kirby's feeling very angry with me.
No, as a matter of fact, he isn't feeling a thing.
Oh, I am surprised.
And he's dead.
No.
Yes.
I do not believe you. You are lying.
Where's my percentage?
But they promised me that...
Now we're getting to it. What did they promise you?
Nothing.
Look, Angel, you're in a jam. Start talking.
I know nothing, Mr. Waring.
You know my name is Waring.
You said so?
No, I didn't. Kirby must have told you about his appointment with me. Well, the Kirby Patterson showed, all right, but he wasn't the right boy.
How do you know?
Because I saw the genuine article down at the morgue. They just dragged him out of the Tiber. He wasn't pretty, Marie. The fish...
Stop it!
What's the matter? Getting sensitive all of a sudden? What did you do, take a walk while they killed him?
He wasn't killed here.
No? What's that rust-colored spot on the rug near the phone?
Blood.
It ain't borscht.
But he told me it would only put him to sleep.
Who told you?
That's Steve Waters.
Stocky lad? Brown hair, a little birthmark over his left temple?
Yes.
How much did he pay you?
Oh, you do not understand. This Mr. Waters came here yesterday. He told me they had arrested my father in Bucharest, and if
You didn't cooperate, you'd never see him again.
Yes.
Oh, come on, Angel. You can dream up a better story than that.
I swear it is the truth. You must believe me.
That was the first time you saw this Steve Waters?
Yes. He had just flown in from Romania.
Then he might be out of Italy, but... No, he wouldn't. That material is worthless unless it's decoded.
What?
Nothing. I was just talking out loud. He's got to stay in Rome till he solves it. We're all behind the 8-ball if Mr. Waters is gone.
2 equals A. 17 is I, and 23 would have to be O. No, that doesn't work. There ought to be some...
That you, Roberto?
Si, Signor Waters.
Wait a second.
I bring you something to eat.
Well, put it down on the table. What do you got there?
Pasta, lasagna, vino.
Ah, looks good.
My wife make.
Well, my compliments to the little woman.
Signor Steve.
Go.
You know they are looking for you.
Do tell.
They ask questions everywhere.
My wife, she's very nervous. We have a little one on the way.
Well, what's your excuse?
Huh?
You're nervous, too. Yeah, maybe you should be. Because when the chief hears about Mike Waring nabbing you on the Rome Express with a party card in your pocket...
You would not tell him. It would kill me. Senor, I beg of you for the sake of my wife and my children.
Yeah, we've got to consider them.
Yes. Well, my youngest is only 2 years old.
Yeah, and you've got another bambino on the way.
Si.
Well, that does raise a problem. I got it, Roberto. Why don't you quit the party?
You think the chief would let me?
Well, of course. What didn't you know? The party's like a social club. You can resign whenever you please. Sure. Yeah, just let me talk to the chief. I can guarantee your troubles are over.
Yeah?
Signor Waring,
That's right.
Giulio Farinacci at your service.
What did you find out, Giulio?
Your friend, Stephen Waters, came to Rome by way of Berlin.
Berlin.
There is no airplane service direct to Bucharest. He had a return ticket.
What's the next flight out?
Tomorrow morning at 11.
Well, then there's a good chance that Waters might still be in Rome.
Yes, he is. According to my information, he is living with a despicable type named Roberto Stefani.
Roberto That's the comrade I ran into on the Rome Express. What's the address?
Corso Vittorio, number 23.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Giulio. You're the greatest house dick this side of 42nd Street. Anytime you want a job at the Waldorf, let me know.
Apparently, there is no one here.
Apparently, Giulio.
Could it be my informant misled me?
Well, let's find out.
Wait. Signor Waring, what do you call that?
Well, in English, they call skeleton keys. Anyone coming up the landing?
I do not like this. It is against the law.
So is murder. You think they take an oath not to use soap and water when they join the Communist Party?
Those things they consider unimportant.
What's behind that curtain?
Oh, that is where they sleep. Signor.
Yeah?
That is Stephen Waters?
That was Stephen Waters.
He's dead.
Yeah, well, I didn't think that extra hole in his head was for ventilation.
We should not be here.
All right, take it easy, Giulio. I want to look around. He had some papers that belonged to me. Help me turn them over.
If the signor will excuse me.
Oh, what do you know? Here's a little item that did the trick.
It is a German Luger.
Yeah, that's what it is. Got a handkerchief?
I do not think the Carabinieri will approve of this.
No, I do not think they will. Signor Waring, we meet again, eh?
Yeah, I know this sounds antisocial, Capitano, but you're the last man I wanted to see.
My entrance was a trifle premature.
A trifle?
What a pity. I could have timed it to give you an opportunity to wipe your fingerprints off the weapon.
Hey, now, wait a minute. You don't think I'd do that?
Oh, I know appearances can be deceiving. Would you like to convince me here? Or wait till we get to my office?
Every day last year on the highways, an average of 103 Americans like yourself or those in your family were killed in automobile accidents. But a lot of highway deaths don't seem to bother us much unless someone in our own family is killed. You can do your part in helping to fight disaster on the highways by being a safer driver and by working in your community and state for strict law enforcement that means safer traveling for all of us. At all times, you must remember to drive as though your life depends on it. It does. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon.
If you know anything worse than being discovered standing over a cold corpse with a hot gun in your hand, I'd like to hear it. Just drop me a line in care of the Italian police in Rome. They'll know where to reach me. They don't have far to travel.
Let me congratulate you, Signor Waring. You relate a very interesting story.
So help me, it's the truth. Ask Giulio here.
Si, Capitano. I take an oath he does not lie. I was with him every minute of the time, from the moment...
Excuse me, please. Barbo qua. Si. Si. Capisco. Hai fatto benissimo. Sono molto gradito, grazie. Signor Waring, my apologies.
Huh?
You too, Julio.
I do not understand.
Well, that makes two of us.
You will be pleased to learn we have solved the case.
You have?
You are interested?
Vitally.
Beh, the murder of your colleague, Kirby Patterson, is no mystery. He was killed by the communist agent, Steve Waters. Agreed?
Agreed. But who killed Waters?
You care to venture a guess?
Yeah, Roberto Stefani.
Wrong.
It was his apartment.
But Roberto had no reason. The death of Waters was motivated by revenge.
I don't see it.
You are forgetting the woman in the case, Marie Antonescu.
Marie Antonescu?
She was in love with Kirby.
And you think she killed Steve Waters?
Yes.
Never.
Then how do you account for the fact that the murder gun belongs to her?
What?
And her fingerprints were found on the bed near the body?
Well, there must be some mistake.
I hope not, for your sake, senor. If there is, we shall have to return to you. But let us see what the lady has to say for herself.
You are wrong, Capitan. I did not kill Steve Waters. I was in my hotel all evening.
And the gun you say was stolen from your room?
Yes. Ask Giulio. I reported it to him this morning.
She tells the truth, Capitano.
Did her door show signs of forced entry?
No.
Then she was merely preparing an alibi.
No, it is not true.
How do you explain your fingerprints being found near Steve Waters' body?
I cannot.
Maybe I can.
It would be most interesting, Senor Waring.
Well, it's simple. She was there.
No.
Look, Marie, you've got to stop lying. You're panicky and you're not thinking clearly. We can buy that stolen gun routine, but not the fingerprints. You had to be in that room.
I tell you...
Well, don't bother unless it's the truth. Now, you went to Roberto's flat, didn't you?
Yes. But when I got there, Waters was dead. But I did not kill him, I swear it.
How did you learn where he was?
Through a telephone call.
Whose?
He would not give his name.
This is most amusing.
All right, give her a chance, Capitano.
Surely you don't believe her.
Well, why not? What's so hard to believe about an anonymous phone call? You got one.
Me?
Or you just didn't blunder into Roberto's place. Someone must have tipped you off.
True.
Well, there you are.
But if she did not kill Waters, who did?
Aren't you forgetting someone?
Roberto Stefani.
Well, he's a possibility, Giulio. Let's see if he meets the acid test. Now, this whole case is tied up with politics. Steve Waters was brought to Rome to do a job, but in accomplishing it, he killed Kirby. That made him a liability to the comrades. They had to get rid of him.
Then the order to liquidate him must have come from a higher functionary here in Rome.
That's right.
But who could his superior be?
Well, that's a good question, Capitano. Just ask yourself, who knew I was looking for Steve Waters? Who was in a position to remove Kirby's body from Marie's room? Who alone had the opportunity to steal her gun?
Obviously, someone employed by the Hotel Nacional.
Well, obviously.
You are referring to me.
Who else? Yeah, she did a nice piece of work, Giulio. I'm sure the party appreciates your efforts. Maybe when you join Steve Waters, you can start a new communist cell. You'll find a lot of hot prospects down there.
Attenzione, volo numero 91 da Roma a Berlino, cancello numero 5. Your attention, please. Flight 91, Rome.
Well, I guess that means me.
Before you go, Senor Waring, on behalf of my colleagues, let me thank you again for your valuable assistance.
Oh, my pleasure, Capitano.
I know it is undiplomatic of me to inquire, but that notebook of yours...
Yeah?
Did you ever find it in Giulio's belongings?
You know I couldn't answer that. But don't bother looking for it.
I understand. But I'm just sorry you could not visit with us longer.
Oh, I'll be back, if only for one reason. They say when in Rome, do as the Romans, but I never got a chance to find out just what it is the Romans do. This I got to learn. Arrivederci, Capitano.
The Case of the King of Clubs. The Case of the King of Clubs. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon, when Mike Waring learns that when trumps are led, the game can be murder. The adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake, Produced and transcribed by Bernard L. Schubert, written by Eugene Wang, and directed by Richard Lewis. Les Damon was starred as the Falcon with Susan Douglas as Marie. This program came from New York. Fred Collins speaking.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Martha. I'm glad you called. You'll have to include me out tonight, Angel. I'm on my way to Berlin. That's right, Berlin. Seems Army intelligence needs a troubleshooter in Germany. I know, I don't like it either. That's the sort of assignment that kills me.
Once again, the National Broadcasting Company brings you the transcribed Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. The Adventures of the Falcon, dedicated to private investigators everywhere. Those hard-hitting detectives who, like Mike Waring, risk their lives to aid law enforcement agencies. So join him now when the Falcon solves the case of the King of Clubs.
I don't know how you feel about advertisements. Personally, I love them. Especially the one that goes, never underestimate the power of a woman. Believe me, Shakespeare never poured more truth into fewer words. Let's go through the pages of history. Eve, Delilah, Cleopatra, Lily Thiessen. And if you've never met Lily, this is your chance. She's a luscious-looking female making with the lipstick in her apartment off the Tiergarten in Berlin. And though our armed forces may occupy West Germany, it works both ways. Lily keeps our armed forces occupied.
Who is it?
It's me, Lily. Open up.
Just a moment. Jimmy, darling, what a wonderful surprise. I thought you'd be busy at the office.
I had to see you, Lily. I've been going out of my mind since last night.
You're sweet.
Every time I think of you...
Jimmy, behave yourself. Now, you bad boy, look what you've done to my hair.
Oh, I ran into some character on your landing. Who was he?
How should I know?
Well, he must have been up here. Tall, thin boy, blonde hair.
You don't trust me.
You're darn right. You're not kidding me, Lily. I know all about you.
And I know all about you, Major Dodge. Why didn't you tell me you were married?
Well, what makes you think I am?
I met your wife yesterday under den Linden.
No.
Yes. She's a very lovely woman, Jimmy. A little thin, perhaps, but most charming.
Lily, you didn't say anything to her.
Of course not, Liebster. Would I do anything to hurt you? I just know now what I have to do.
What do you mean?
Well, naturally, I can't continue seeing you. It wouldn't be fair.
Lily, I won't give you up.
Then it's very simple. Divorce your wife.
No. I can't do that to Grace.
But you have no objections doing it to me.
Now, Lily, you don't understand. Grace is a wonderful girl.
And I'm a mercenary female without a conscience.
Yes.
Yet you love me.
I'm crazy about you, Lily. I can't give you up.
And you won't give up your wife. You do have a problem, darling. All right, I'll give you till the end of the week to solve it.
All right, Jimmy. What is it?
What's what, Grace?
Well, there's something bothering you. You want to tell me about it?
There's nothing to tell.
If there's any way that I can
I
help...
tell you it's nothing. Now, for Pete's sake, let me alone.
Of course.
I'm sorry, Grace. I don't know what's come over me.
Oh, you've been working too hard. What you need is... Oh, dear. I'll get it. Just a second.
Guten Abend.
Guten Abend.
Is Herr Major Dodge in?
Yes?
I wonder if I might have a word with him.
Who is it, Grace?
Well, it's someone to see you, Jim. Mr...
Keller. Fritz Keller. You probably don't remember me, Major.
Why, no, I don't.
We met for a few short minutes this afternoon on the landing at 41 Woltenstrasse.
Oh.
Comes back to you now?
Yes. What do you want?
Well, I would prefer to discuss this privately.
Grace, do you mind?
Oh, of course not, Jimmy. I'll run over and talk to Twyla. It's been nice meeting you, Mr. Keller.
The pleasure was all mine.
I'll be back in about 20 minutes, please.
Yes, that'll be fine.
Lovely woman, your wife.
All right, Keller, what's on your mind?
Well, you might at least invite me to sit down.
I don't think you'll be staying long.
I trust you will appreciate my position, Major Dodge. We Germans are a poor people. Circumstances often compel us to do things we cannot help. In my case, I have a rare opportunity to go into business with one of my compatriots. Unfortunately, we lack capital.
So?
So I would be obliged if you would loan me 45,000 marks. That's 10,000 American dollars.
Are you crazy?
It isn't as though I have no security to offer. In exchange, I am prepared to turn over this.
Where did you get these pictures?
Doesn't Lily photograph beautifully? Personally,
If you think I'm going to let you blackmail me...
Such an ugly word. All I asked was a loan. Of course, there is the chance you will never be repaid.
Why, you dirty dog! Oh, so you... Come on, get up.
No one has ever struck a killer and not regretted it.
What are you going to do, have your seconds call on me?
I might even call on you myself. Good Norman, Major Dodge. I'm sure we shall meet again.
Hello?
That you, Lily?
Jimmy, darling.
I've got to see you. Suppose we met at the Kreuzkerning?
Have you told your wife about us?
No. Something's come up, Lily. Do you know a Fritz Keller?
Hella?
No, Keller with a K.
Why do you ask?
He knows about us. He's even got a set of pictures. He wants 45,000 marks for them.
How dreadful.
Yes, he was the same boy I met on your landing the other day.
You think I cooperated with him?
I didn't say that.
But you intimated as much.
Now, wait a minute, Lily.
You practically accused
I didn't mean it, I swear.
Well, what are you going to do?
What do you recommend?
Let this Keller do his worst. I'm not ashamed of our love.
No, Lily. I don't want Grace to find out about us this way.
Then you have no choice but to pay him. Where will you raise the money?
Well, I'll manage somehow. You do love me, don't you, Lily?
You silly boy, of course I do.
Well, can I see you tonight? I'll tell Grace.
I don't think you better, Jimmy. I want you to be able to give Herr Keller your undivided attention. He needs it. Auf Wiedersehen, darling.
And the major is of the OPINI. Yes? I'm looking for Major Dodge. Oh, he isn't in. I'm Major Dodge's civilian aide. Can I help you?
Maybe you can at that. I'm Mike Waring.
Mike Waring. Now, wait a second. Haven't I heard that name before?
I don't know. Have you?
Why, sure. You're the private detective they call the Falcon.
Not so loud. I'm trying to live it down.
What are you doing here?
I've been recalled to temporary duty with Army Intelligence.
Well, sit down.
Thanks.
I'm Alan Bruce. You just get into Berlin?
No, I've been here for a week doing groundwork.
You don't think that we've got a couple of spies on the payroll?
Well, you might be from the looks of your accounts. The Pentagon cables me you're $10,000 short.
What? Oh, they're crazy.
Oh, it's been double-checked, Bruce. Someone around here has sticky fingers. How long have you known Major Dodge?
Don't tell me you think that Jimmy...
He's a possibility.
Oh, well, you're out of your mind. You might just as well suspect me.
I do.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. Jimmy's as honest as they come.
Oh, I'm sure. You know where I can reach him?
Why, no. He and Grace just moved.
What's his phone number?
I don't think they've got a phone. That's right. He told me he was having trouble getting it transferred.
Mm-hmm. Well, when he gets in, ask him to call me. Huh? I'm staying at the Hindenburg.
I'll do that.
Good seeing you, Bruce.
You bet. Operator, get me Grenadier 1341. Oh, come on.
Hello?
Is that you, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Bruce here. Can you talk?
Why, what's up?
I don't know, but you better get down to the office pronto. Washington sent an investigator named Mike Waring to see you.
Mike Waring? I thought he was in Rome.
Not anymore. He claims we're $10,000 short.
What?
Yes, he's been sent here to find the guilty critter.
Well, Bruce, you don't think I...
Oh, of course not. What do you take me for, anyway?
Well, is Waring there now?
No, he left a minute ago. He wants you to get in touch with him at the Hindenburg. You better do it real fast.
What's my hurry?
Now, listen,
Relax,
Jimmy,
Bruce. I'll get to Waring in due time. Thanks for the tip, anyway.
Taxi. Taxi.
Entschuldigen Sie bitte, Frau Dodge, is it not?
I beg your pardon?
You do not remember me?
No, I'm afraid not.
Fritz Keller. I was to see your husband a week ago.
Oh, of course. How are you?
Wunderbar. I wonder would you care to join me in a glass of wine?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm late for an appointment now.
I think this might be to your advantage, Grace.
Grace?
Forgive the informality, but I do hope we can be friends. Perhaps you will accept this portfolio. Yeah, as a token of my esteem.
What is it?
Various snapshots of Berlin. For example, here's one of our zoo.
Oh. Isn't that Jimmy in the foreground?
Well, I believe it is. And I'm sure you must know the woman.
Yes.
I just happened to notice. She's in all these pictures. Your husband's sister, perhaps.
Yes.
Very lovely. And she looks at him so adoringly. Obviously, they are very fond of each other.
Obviously.
Yes. Well, I hope you will keep these as a little souvenir of your stay in Berlin.
You're very kind. Now, if you'll forgive me, Herr Keller, I'll run along.
Of course.
I have work to do.
Yes, come.
Herr Major Dodge,
That's right.
I trust you will forgive this intrusion. My name is Adolf Beimler.
Adolf Beimler?
Yes, I'm sure it means nothing to you, but we do have a mutual friend.
Oh, who?
Would you care to venture a guess?
Look, Beimler, I happen to be busy, so if you don't mind...
The typical American spirit, nicht wahr? You must make every moment count. But then, who can blame you? We are on Earth for such a short time.
You're quite a philosopher.
Yes, in my work, one must be.
All right, what are you getting at?
Perhaps this will clear up matters.
And now put away that gun.
Well, you showed an interest in my profession.
Why are you doing this?
For money. I know I should be ashamed of myself, but when one is poor...
Well, if it's money you want...
Get away from that desk.
Well, I just want to show you...
I said get away. That's the trouble with you Americans. You are so used to giving orders, you never learn to take them. This will teach you.
Can you stop in time? Ask yourself that question the next time you drive your car. If the car in front of you should jam on his brakes to avoid a stray dog, if a child should dash across an intersection, if a tire should blow out, could you stop in time to save a life? Slippery roads, fogged windshields, poor visibility. All of these factors mean that you must be more alert in following simple safety rules. At all times, remember, accidents don't always happen to the other fellow. And now back to the adventures of the Falcon.
Well, I guess it only proves that a little 38 can make some men a big shot. And 3 hours after Adolf Beimler pumped those slugs into Major James Dodge, I did a tour of the West Berlin Police Headquarters. Her General Inspector Schiller, who was in charge, was quite proud of their facilities. The cells were complete in every detail. This one even came equipped with a brunette.
Frau Dodge,
Yes?
you have a visitor.
Hello, Mrs. Dodge.
Who are you?
Mike Waring.
You will call me when you are through?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Herr Inspector General. Cigarette?
Oh, yes, please. Did the embassy send you?
No, I'm here on my own. I'm working for Army Intelligence. I wonder if you'd mind answering a few questions?
If it's about my husband's murder.
Yes, it is.
I can only tell you what I told the others. I don't know anything about it.
They think you killed him.
That's ridiculous.
You know an Adolf Beimler?
No?
He's the boy who pulled the trigger.
Does he claim I hired him for the occasion?
Well, so far, they haven't been able to ask him. He escaped to the Russian zone, and the comrades show a strange reluctance to turn him over.
Well, when they do, you'll find that I didn't hire him. Where's my motive?
Well, you know your husband was playing around with some Fraulein.
That is a lie.
Then how do you explain those snapshots of Jimmy and the blonde Venus they found in your purse?
They didn't mean a thing. She was an old friend of the family.
Mm-hmm. What's her name?
Gretchen. Gretchen Schumann.
Where can I find her?
You can't. She moved to East Germany a couple of months ago.
Now, look, Mrs. Dodge, I'd like to help you, but I've got to know the truth. Now, who is this girl?
I told you her name is Gretchen Schumann.
Mm-hmm. That's what you told me.
You don't believe me?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I. Because I'm going to find her. And if you won't help me, maybe I know the party who will. Hey, Schiller, I want out.
I wish I could give you lead wearing, but honestly, I don't see how I can.
You never know unless you try, Bruce. You think Mrs. Dodge killed her husband?
No. Why should she?
He was cheating.
I don't believe it.
Why not? You were covering for him.
Who says so?
I do. When I saw you at the office, you told me the major had moved and he didn't have a phone in his new place. You were lying.
Now, look.
Well, weren't you?
Yes. I called him right after you left.
Why?
He was my friend.
Even though he had his hand in Uncle Sam's pocket?
You'll never get me to believe that.
Do you believe he was involved with some female?
Yes.
How did you find out?
I ran into them together a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm. Is this the girl?
Yes, that's Lily, all right.
Lily?
Lily Tisson.
How did Dodge meet her?
Oh, what difference does it make?
Well, maybe I'd like to make her acquaintance the same way.
There's a little nightclub on Krumstrasse. It's called the Kreuzkennig.
Oh, that's the king of clubs?
Yes, she works there.
Doing what?
I don't know exactly.
Good, then I'll have a chance to find out for myself. That ought to be fun.
Ja, was willen Sie haben?
Yeah, Smirnoff Martini, real dry, 5 parts vodka, 1 of vermouth.
Make it 2, Paul. Unless the gentleman objects.
Well, if I do, I'm no gentleman. Go ahead, Paul.
Good, mein Herr.
I suppose I should introduce myself. My name is Lily Tisson.
Glad to know you, Lily. I'm Mike Waring.
You probably think I'm very forward.
Well, wouldn't have it any other way. I hate retiring women.
You intend to stay long in Berlin?
Well, up to a minute ago, I was ready to leave, but now I'm beginning to like it.
Oh, you are very gallant.
Here, your drink, sir.
Oh, yes. Keep the change.
Danke sehr. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
It was most unwise. Displaying all that money. It may give people ideas.
Well, if it gives you any, I'm all for it.
You think your wife would approve?
My wife?
Well, I noticed that wedding ring.
Oh.
Where is she?
Oh, she's back in New York. She wouldn't leave the kids.
Oh, you have children?
6.
You are kind of young to have so many.
Well, I got an early start.
Tell me about her.
Elsie, the greatest little girl in the world. Real wonderful mother. Imagine, you got 8 servants in the house, and she won't leave the kids.
You have 8 in help?
Well, I mean on the permanent staff. Of course, when we throw a shindig, we bring in a dozen more.
You must be very wealthy.
You leave it to Waring. I do all right.
Oh, but it is so noisy here. Why don't we go over to my place?
What?
I have a little flat near the Tiergarten. I think you might like it.
Well, gee, would we be alone?
Surely you are not afraid.
Oh, no. I was just thinking of the little woman. She might not understand.
Don't you have a saying, what you do not know can never hurt you?
Hey, that's right.
Then your Elsie can never be hurt. Shall we go? Well, here we are.
Yep, here we are.
Wait till I turn on the lights.
Hey, this is all right.
You like it?
Like it? I think this is the softest touch since Lanolin Plus. I just hope Elsie would understand.
I'm sure she would. Sit down.
What about you?
I'm just going to slip into something a little more comfortable.
Wait a minute.
Don't worry, Liebster. I won't be long. Hallo? Hannover 4322. Yeah.
I say, Lily.
I'll be right with you, Michael. Help yourself to a drink.
Hallo?
Fritz?
Ja?
Lily.
Oh, you know, this is not very bright, Lily.
There are extenuating circumstances. I just discovered Jimmy Dodge's successor.
What?
Met another American.
What is his name?
Mike Waring.
Is he rich?
Naturally. He also has a wife and 6 children.
He sounds most interesting.
That's why I thought you should make his acquaintance. Oh, and bring along your camera, Fritz. I think Mr. Waring will prove a most photogenic subject.
Go away. There's nobody home. Oh. Yeah. Hold it. I'll be right there. Where the devil is my robe? All right, I'm coming. Yeah?
Michael Waring?
That's right.
My card, sir.
Fritz Keller?
At your service.
Oh, what can I do for you?
I prefer to discuss that inside, may I?
Why not? You sit down.
Thank you.
Well, what's on your mind, Fritz?
And I am a photographer by trade, Herr Waring.
Oh, so?
So I thought perhaps you might like a set of pictures as a souvenir of your visit to Germany.
No, I don't think I'll need them. I've seen the concentration camps and gas chambers at Buchenwald and Dachau. I remember that for quite a while.
You must understand, we Germans knew nothing of what was going on.
Oh, sure. All you people thought they were rest homes for the aged.
I refuse to be involved in a political discussion. I have more important business. Perhaps you would care to see a portfolio of my work.
Yeah, sure, love to.
Ah?
That's nice.
You recognize the lady?
Yeah, it's Lily Thiessen. Yeah, she looks wonderful. But I don't think you did me justice.
But it is undoubtedly you.
Oh, yeah, it's me, all right.
I'm willing to sell them for 45,000 marks.
Oh. Well, do I get a discount if I buy in gross lots?
If you think I'm joking...
No, I think you're quite serious.
You would not care to have your wife receive a set with my compliments.
My wife?
I believe her name is Elsie.
Oh, Elsie. Say, Fritz is a photographer. Maybe you'd like to see a picture. I think there was one in this magazine here. Yeah, she does a lot of modeling. Yeah, here we are. Oh, what do you think of Elsie?
But this is a cow.
That's no way to speak of the woman I love.
But you told Lily...
Well, she didn't take me serious.
You tricked us.
I guess I should be ashamed of myself.
No! I would not advise you to try that again.
You never should have said that, Fritz. I'm the kind of a kid who can't resist it. No! You pulled the same stunt on Major Dodge, didn't you? And I say you did. No! Now, don't bother getting up, Fritz. Just stay right there till I get dressed. I'll call you as soon as I'm ready.
I must admit that you build a very substantial case against the man, Herr Waring.
But you don't believe he was responsible for Major Dodge's murder?
Frankly, no.
Thank you, Herr Inspector Gerner.
Shut up. You practically admitted to me.
I did nothing of the kind.
Why, you dirty...
Herr Waring, please.
Well, I'm sorry, Schiller. But what does it take to convince you people anyway?
What it requires in your country. Evidence.
Well, you know he and Lily Thiessen were working this blackmail racket on Major Dodge.
Can you prove it?
Yes, through his wife. You gave her a duplicate set of those pictures.
Aha! Then she knew that her husband was untrue.
Yes, she knew, all right. But she didn't have him killed. Fritz here did.
Why should I?
Well, maybe he wouldn't pay off.
But he did. If you gentlemen will examine my bank book, you will find a deposit entry of 45,000 marks on the 7th of July.
But if Dodge paid you...
Then there was no reason for me to have him killed.
Then why did you give those pictures to his wife?
I thought she might be interested. Apparently she was. If I can be of any further service to her during her trial, please feel free to call on me. Guten Tag, mein Herr.
You and your children can expect to live long, thanks largely to better medicine and surgery. But you could expect to live even longer were it not for the danger of automobile accidents. In the 15 to 25 age group alone, traffic accidents wiped out 300,000 years of life last year. If driver education could be taught in all of our high schools instead of only a third of them, it might someday help to save the life of your own son or daughter. In your own automobile, Remember to drive as though your life depends on it. It does. And now, back to the adventures of the Falcon.
Well, now I know how Hitler must have felt when they dropped a blockbuster on the Reich Chancellery. He must have been real upset. And after Fritz Keller bowed himself out of Schiller's office, the Herr Inspector General and I looked at each other. I don't know what he saw, but I was disappointed. Then I thought of Grace Dodge. That didn't cheer me up either.
Mr. Waring,
Hello, Mrs. Dodge.
you don't look too happy.
He isn't.
My fault?
Yeah. I had a nomination for the party responsible for your husband's murder, but the convention turned me down.
Who was it?
Fritz Keller.
Afraid I don't know the gentleman.
Well, he knows you. He gave you that set of pictures of Jimmy and Lily Thiessen.
Is that what he claims?
That's what he claims.
He's lying.
We can't prove it, Frau Dodge.
Go right ahead.
Now, look, Angel, if you think by denying everything you can escape the rope, you're wrong. Fritz was blackmailing your husband.
If he was, I had no knowledge of it.
I hate to contradict a lady, but you did. On the 5th of July, you were called by Meyer Albrecht and Company.
Who are they?
A brokerage firm here. They deal in American securities. Frau Dodge and her husband jointly held several shares of stock. To sell them, both their signatures were required.
Well?
Albrecht thought your signature was forged. He called you to verify it.
And I told him it was genuine.
Then obviously you knew your husband was being blackmailed.
Wait a minute. Hold it, Schiller. I think I see it now.
It was apparent to me long ago.
No, I tell you, you're making a mistake. With a little luck, I can prove it. Keep your fingers crossed, Angel. We're going to need all the help we can get.
I don't get it, Waring, but if you feel I can help Grace, I'll do everything I can.
Well, that's what it's going to take, Bruce. Everything. I want you to help me bait a trap.
A trap?
Yeah. You believe Grace had her husband killed?
Of course not.
Well, that makes two of us. What do you think was the killer's motive?
Money?
That's what I think, too.
The $10,000 that Fritz Keller got?
No, the $10,000 was lifted from the office.
But you said Keller wound up with that.
No, it wasn't the same money. Jimmy raised his by selling some personal stocks that he and his wife owned.
I don't get it.
Well, you see, there were two sums of $10,000 involved. The one Dodge paid off to Keller, and the one you lifted from the office.
What?
Yes, you had Dodge killed to cover the theft.
Do you realize what you're saying?
Of course. Why do you think I invited you to drive me down to police headquarters? No, just keep going, Bruce. You're on the right road. You took the wrong one when you turned to murder. Now you're doing fine.
Bitte, Kellner. Eine Flasche Wein und mach schnell.
Jawohl, Herr Inspector General.
Well, you like it here, Herr Waring?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem the same without Lily. I sure would like to have another couple of pictures taken with her.
Oh.
Well, just to show my friends in America. They have no idea what goes on here.
You are leaving for the United States shortly, huh?
Tomorrow morning. And that's too far off. I'd leave tonight if there was a plane out.
It sure can see here, Waring. There's a cablegram for you. It was forwarded from your hotel.
Oh, no. You open it, Schiller.
What, you are not curious?
I know what it says. They're going to leave me stuck here in Europe forever.
No, you are wrong.
What?
You are to leave the continent immediately.
I don't believe it. Let's see that.
See? They are sending you to North Africa.
Oh, no. Good night, Herr Inspector General.
The Case of the Broken Key. The Case of the Broken Key. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon. When Mike Waring learns that although love may laugh at locksmiths, murder is no joke. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake. Produced and transcribed by Bernard L. Schubert, written by Eugene Wang, and directed by Richard Lewis. Les Damon was starred as the Falcon with Lily Valente as Lily. This program came from New York. Fred Collins speaking.